Before you guys get started drawing today, there's a couple of marks that you need to make on your portrait on the slides. So I have my slides open over here. Here's just the lines that I reference, and then my two reference photos with those drawings that I turned in. So I'm just going to go back to this, and I'm just going to make a couple of minor just marks on this. I'm going to use the circle tool. The first is I'm going to put a circle where the hairline meets the forehead, right on top of that red line. And then I can just Control C and Control V, and I made another circle, a small circle, is the same size. And I'm going to put a dot where a line straight out from that eye where it meets the side of the head. Another one, and I'm going to do, if I pretend that this line goes straight out, I'm going to go ahead and put it where that meets the side of the face. I put a mark from the lip line straight out to where that meets the side of the face. Then I'm going to drop that lip line straight down to where that meets the chin. I'm going to put one more where that center line and the chin meets. So now I kind of have a little bit of a connect the dot with where those marks are. Okay, before you start drawing, make sure that you put these dots down just on your Google slide so that you have them as reference points. Now that you have those reference points on your picture, we're going to go ahead and start drawing the face shape. You can see on my photograph that I have those reference points just kind of dotted out on the face. I did this just so you could more easily see what I am drawing versus having the Chromebook screen next to me, since my Chromebook does not lay flat open. So once again, you should have those dots on your face, and we are going to be drawing the outline of that face shape. Okay, so you need the pencil with you. Make sure that you have those dots and your picture pulled up on your Chromebook, and then we're going to start adding those dots. You're going to use that same paper from yesterday that has the drawing and the eye sizes from the drawing and the photograph. If you threw it away, you can make a new one. You're just measuring out that size of the eye in the photograph. So this is the size of my eye in my photograph, and then you're going to use the same slip of paper and measure the size of the eye in your drawing, which is what I'm doing here. So this is the size of my drawing. And that gives us just something to use as a measurement. So first I'm going to start with this eye distance. So I'm going to look at where that dot falls with that eye, and it's about a 3/4 of an eye from the corner of the eye that I have drawn. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make that mark on my paper. So it's about 3/4 of an eye length. So I'm going to go ahead and add that, and then I can actually add a little mark for my ear too, just because my ear happened to fall right there. But really, it's just that side of the head that you really want. I'm going to do the same thing for the nose. So I'm measuring how many eye lengths does it take to get to the cheek. And it takes a little bit more than one. It's going to take about 1 1/4 for me. So I'm going to go onto my picture, and it's going to take 1 and then 1 1/4 to get to that cheek of his face. All right, so there is my cheek dot. So far I have 2 of those dots. I'm going to do the same thing again for the mouth. So from the corner of the mouth straight out to that cheek, it's about 1 eye length. So I'm going to go ahead and put a dot about 1 eye length, make sure I line it up properly. And there it is. And you can see that that's pretty clear, because if I just drew a line straight down, those are almost in line with each other. Now I'm going to spin my paper, and I'm going to measure down from the lip line. And the first line for me is going to be about 1 1/4 again. And I actually ran out of room on the video, so you can't really see it, but I put a dot down there for the 1 1/4. And then you're going to do the same thing for the bottom of the chin. So how many eye lengths from that bottom lip does it take to get to the chin? And it takes just about 1 1/4 again. So from that bottom lip, I'm going to make a mark 1 1/4. The next one that I'm going to do is I'm going to do that forehead line. Everyone has this idea that we have small foreheads. It actually takes about 2 to 3 eye lengths to get all the way to the top of a forehead. So for Clive Owen, it's going to be 1 eye length, 2 eye lengths, and about 2.5 to get all the way to the top of his forehead. And he has bangs that cover his forehead, so most people have about 3 eye lengths to get to the top of their forehead, and I'm just barely going to be able to fit it in up here. Okay, so now I have that other dot too. So because I have all of these dots, I could technically measure straight up from the corner of his eye up to that forehead too, but I'm just going to go ahead and start lightly penciling in that shape. And I'm following those dots, and I'm also following the shape in the picture, giving him his jawline. His cheekbone, it curves a little bit there before it goes straight up, and then it curves out before it comes back in because he has a really defined like eye and cheekbone brow. And this area is pretty square. And that's what I'm saying with I could make a measurement right here and go straight up, but I don't really feel like that's necessary because his forehead is so square because of his hair. So I'm just going to go ahead and drop that hairline down, and I'm just kind of lightly following that head shape, just trying to get in the basic head shape. I'm not going to do much value or any of that. It's mostly just a pencil outline. I'm also going to go ahead and check out the ear. I'm using those dots kind of to figure out where the ear falls. So it's a little bit above the dot for his nose, and then it comes above the dot for his eye and is more in line with his eyebrow itself. So I'm going to put that eyebrow line, and that's roughly where his ear is. His ear's probably a little bit bigger, but a lot of his hair covers his ear, so I'm going to start adding that hair as well anywhere that I kind of see it. And his hair is pretty poofy, so it's going to come out pretty far from his head. I'm also going to give him a neck, and although you can't see it, I'm also adding the jacket that he's wearing and the collar of his shirt. So I kind of have all of those details that I'm just penciling in lightly, just kind of outlining. And I can start paying attention to some of the other details too on his face, some of these other lines that he has. But same thing, I'm not actually going to add any shading. I'm just adding pencil lines just as reference. The most important thing that I want you guys to concentrate on today is just doing the pencil lines so that I can give you feedback and tell you what to correct before you spend all of that time shading. I would hate for you to spend a whole bunch of time shading in the face and everything and only come to realize that you've measured incorrectly and that your face is too thin or too wide, etc. So really just concentrate on making those pencil outlines. Feel free to put some of the other details. I'm going to put some of like the wrinkles that he has on his forehead. He has pretty distinct crease up here. But that's all that I need today. I don't need to go in and add any more shading. And then when you are done creating that pencil outline, you're going to go ahead and turn it in. I'm just going to fix his hair a little bit. All right, so that's all you need is just that pencil outline. Okay, so we're going to go over how to turn in your drawing. You're going to use that Google Slides again. So this is that same Google Slides that has those other drawings, the one of the eye, the one with the eye, nose, and mouth. And now you're going to duplicate that last slide, and you're going to add today's drawing. So change that date up in the top to today's date, and then you're going to take a picture of your drawing. I've already taken one and downloaded it onto my drive. I did it with my cell phone, but you can use your cell phone or your Chromebook. And then you're simply going to go to Image and go to Google Drive and find your photograph. So here's my photograph here. I'm going to insert it. I need to make sure that I turn that so that it's straight. And of course, I'm also going to crop it so that I don't have a whole bunch of background stuff happening. So make sure that you crop your image. You don't want a messy background. Get it in as tight and close as possible. Mine, I took at a slight slant. It's a little bit skewed, so I can't crop all of it out, but I can still crop a decent amount of it out. There's still a little bit of a wood table there. Okay, and all I'm going to do is make it nice and big so that it's very easy to see. And then I'm going to submit it onto Google Classroom. So remember to do that. You're going to go back to the assignment on Google Classroom, and you're going to click on today's assignment. You are going to attach this slides, the whole slides, and then you are going to turn it in. That way I can give you feedback on what you need to change or correct before tomorrow's assignment, which is going to be to add the shading to the face. Okay, so make sure you turn it in on Google Classroom, and if you have any questions, reach out on Remind.